Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And in today's video, we'll discuss the newest recruit and commitment to the class of 2024 for Texas Tech football. We'll also discuss the national rankings updating for the Texas Tech Red Raiders class of 2024. And then what does it mean? This might be a segment until we figure out where Micah Hudson will be officially committing, but we've got some interesting tidbits on him. And if you haven't noticed already, we've got the Back to 12 podcast squad memberships available, a monthly rate. It'll allow you to really do a lot of things here on the channel, but probably the coolest one is it will instantly basically give you a response, right? You will have high priority in the response. And it's just a small way to help us out here. If you enjoy what we're doing, again, be sure to check that out. And if you can't do it, hey, we still got some free videos coming on the way. And I know that's what you're here for right now. So let's jump right into it. The news from yesterday when it came to Texas Tech football was the commitment of Eddy Smith, a three-star defensive lineman from Pearland, Texas. Dawson High School, stands at 6'6", 250, a multiple sport athlete, played basketball as well there at Dawson High School, had 22 total offers from D1 colleges. Okay, some of those include Oregon, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Colorado, and more. Smith is now the third defensive line commit in the class of 2024 for the Red Raiders. You've also got Charles Anderson. You've got Chetta as well in there as well. So you look at kind of what they're doing, and two of those guys are just large individuals. Let's just be real about it. Charles Anderson and then Eddy Smith, they're freaks when it comes down to it on that defensive line. They can play multiple spots, three technique, up, outside, inside, whatever you need them to do, they can do that, right? And then Chetta, I mean, he's just one of those guys that I think he has serious potential to be one of the best defensive linemen and outside rushers that Texas Tech has had in a long time. So really big time addition. And again, this staff has made it vitally important in terms of the high school ranks. And by the way, they have a chance in this recruiting class to have everybody from the state of Texas. You think Joey McGuire and those ties to Texas high school football aren't coming in handy right now? But one of the major priorities for this staff is building in the trenches and then speed. And they've got a guy here in Eddy Smith that it wouldn't surprise me at all if he ends up, when this recruiting cycle is done, as a low four-star type guy and potentially on the two deep almost immediately for the Red Raiders due to his versatility. But I want to ask you guys this. Which Texas Tech class of 2024 commit as it stands right now are you interested in seeing most? So let me know down in the comments below. I'll have the recruiting link in terms of the commitments from both Rivals and 24/7 down in the comments and the description if you want to check that out. But let me know down in the comments again, which class of 2024 commit for Texas Tech are you most interested in seeing? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, we've got a rankings update in terms of the recruiting class of 2024 for Texas Tech football. As of June 28th, the time of this recording, 24/7 has Texas Tech at 22nd, Rivals at 26th. When you look at this, again, you have to remember one big thing right now for Texas Tech, and that is there's at least 3, maybe 4 silent commits for the Red Raiders right now. Again, this is going to be a smaller class for Texas Tech, right? Probably in that 18 range, Joe McGuire said. But you have 3 or 4 more guys right now when it comes down to it. And those guys will trickle in eventually. But it's going to be interesting to see where this ends up for Texas Tech. Because when you look at it, obviously Rivals 24/7 have them ranked at different places. You can see at the bottom of your screen there. But it's going to be interesting to see where this ends up and how those fluctuate. Obviously, a potential Micah Hudson commitment will skyrocket the Red Raiders up into the top 20. And multiple guys will probably follow after him. But it's going to be interesting to see where this recruiting class ends up for Texas Tech, because 19th is the highest they've ever been in a recruiting cycle, according to 24/7 Rivals, really in any kind of recruiting service, right? They have the chance to have the highest recruiting class in Texas Tech program history this year, do the Red Raiders. So again, 3, maybe 4 silent commits right now. You already got everybody from the state of Texas legitimately in this recruiting class is from the Lone Star State. It will be interesting to see where Texas Tech ends up. But I want to ask you this. Will Texas Tech land a top 20 recruiting class in the class of 2024? Y for yes, and for no. Y'all know how this goes in terms of, hey, again, if they're in the top 20, that means at worst, they're either the second best recruiting class in program history, tied for the first, or they're the best, right? That's just how it goes. And they really, truly do have a chance to be the best recruiting class in terms of the recruiting rankings for an individual cycle in program history. And again, it's just in year 2 of Joey McGuire. All right, before we get out of here, I wanted to talk about this. And we might just do this again until we basically hear of a commitment for Micah Hudson. And it's, what does it mean of the day by Micah Hudson? All right, he reactivated his Twitter. I'm just having fun like Micah Hudson is in this recruitment now. I'm all about it in terms of the trolling and everything like that. He reactivated his Twitter. That's cool. But he has an A&M photo on there because he was down in College Station for a 7-on-7 tournament with his high school team, Lake Belton, down there. So he did an unofficial visit to A&M, got a couple photos taken. He's got it both as his Instagram and his Twitter, or his Instagram picture as well, and he posted it on Twitter. What does it mean, right? Also, shout out to Seeing Scarlet podcast. Those ladies do a fantastic job at covering everything women's sports at Texas Tech and much more. And I bring them up because of this. Micah Hudson, there was a screenshot of him watching the Seeing Scarlet podcast, toes out and all. It was a lot. Some people would pay for that, if you know what I mean. But Micah Hudson sent a screenshot of that, said they could use it on their socials. It's going a little bit viral in the tech space. What does it mean? What does it mean? You tell me. That's what I want to know. You just tell me what this means when it all comes down to it. Is it nothing? Is it something? When will Micah Hudson commit to whichever school it may be? All of his likes on Twitter, those are Texas Tech related. What does it mean? Or is it just him trolling? To be honest with you, when it comes down to it, this is just a fantastic job by him. He is trolling multiple fan bases that care deeply about football. It's a phenomenal job by Micah Hudson. Again, though, the biggest things in this video, Texas Tech lands a 3-star defensive lineman in Eddy Smith from Pearland, Texas, Dawson High School, the 3rd defensive line commit of this class for Texas Tech. All of them have a chance to be impact guys, especially once they put on a little bit more weight here in college. And then again, I got to ask you 2 questions, right? Which commit in the 2024 class right now are you most interested in seeing for the Red Raiders? They have to be committed. And then does Texas Tech land a top 20 recruiting class for the class of 2024? Just a simple Y for yes or in for no. All right, that's going to do it. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Texas Tech athletics, mostly football and men's basketball updates. And be sure to check out the Back to 12 squad memberships now here on the channel. I am RC Maxfield reminding you, if you want the latest breaking news and rumors when it comes to Texas Tech football all year long, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the know right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.